Let's talk about which fats are best for the skin. This time of year as the cold weather sets in many parts of the country and the world, the weather's going to dry out a bit, meaning that you might feel like your skin needs a little bit of extra something in order to keep it moisturized and hydrated. I thought during this time of year as the holidays approach too, a lot of us are not only doing moisturizers for ourselves, but also perhaps creating gifts for family and friends. And we want to know ahead of time and to be discerning as far as what we want to put in those products. In today's video, we will go over the different factors that you might want to consider because it is not an easy one answer is the solution for everyone approach. Let's talk about some of the oils that easily penetrate the skin barrier. You might have heard the terms non-comedogenic and comedogenic. So for those of you that don't know what they mean, non-comedogenic means that it is less likely to clog the pores, not very likely to clog the pores. Whereas the more comedogenic it gets on the scale, that means it's a higher likelihood of clogging your pores. So a list of some non-comedogenic oils are apricot kernel, there's sweet almond, marula, jojoba, argan oil, rapeseed oil, and also you might have heard olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut used frequently in skincare products. So these three oils, they tend to be more comedogenic. They range, I think, from medium to high on the scale. So for some people, they could prove a problem and cause, like, for example, like skin colored bumps or make an acne condition worse. It's also going to depend on what kind of effect you're trying to achieve. So just because something is comedogenic doesn't mean that you shouldn't use it. So for example, when you're treating diaper rash, you might want something comedogenic because you want to have more of a barrier for protection. Another example would be on your face. You could go with two different types of oils or fats. So you could apply a more non-comedogenic oil first that can penetrate the skin, and then you might want to apply a more comedogenic oil or fat on top of that to act as a barrier to the elements, but also to help keep that moisture in. So just some examples of some different approaches that you could take and some reasons why different types of oils or fats might be good for different approaches. Now, in that list of oils that I stated, some of you might already be like typing comments about grapeseed oil and how they heard that it was bad for you. So I just wanted to address that too, that at the time of this video, the research is showing that perhaps there are certain seed oils that can be harmful because they are highly refined and because they might go rancid easily, and they contain large amounts of omega-6 fatty acids, which of themselves, omega-6 acids are not bad for you. You need them. However, they're saying that through our modern diets, through, for example, eating out a lot, because a lot of restaurants use seed oils, or even in things like supplements, for example, could have seed oils in them. We are taking in too much of the omega-6s, and so that ratio between omega-6 and omega-3 is getting largely skewed towards the omega-6, and that can lead to issues with inflammation and cholesterol, among other health problems. So that is why you might have heard seed oils be a target. There's something called the Hateful Eight, which is going around of these various seed oils, which they say you should try not to use as much. And again, that's going to depend on your diet. So you and or your dermatologist or health practitioner might want to go over, what all you're taking in, what are the supplements you're taking in, how much omega-3s you're taking in, and whether or not you want to use an omega-6. The answer might vary. An oil that's higher in omega-6, the answer might vary depending on your situation. So with the seed oils too, not all seed oils are the same. So for example, I'm not suggesting that you use this on your skin, but peanut oil, peanuts are technically a seed, but it is much easier to get oil from a peanut than it is if you're trying to do something like canola oil or grapeseed oil. Those have to go through a much more intense process in order to get these large amounts of oil. So that's something to consider too. And rosehip oil is actually known to be very good for the skin. People use it for treatment of acne and, like, for example, like hyperpigmentation, spots in the skin. When you're choosing an oil, something else you might want to look for are cold pressed oils. So cold pressed oils mean that the oil has been extracted using mechanical extraction as opposed to using heat or solvents in order to get that oil. So again, again, it's going to be less refined. Another category of fat, which is regaining popularity in skincare products, are animal products. So pay no attention to this segment if you do not want to use animal products in your skincare, but there's a resurgence in use of tallow and lard. Tallow comes from cows and lard comes from pigs. They can be really great, especially if you get the highest quality lard or tallow that you can find. So grass-fed, hopefully all the way through. Probably better if it's in a glass container as opposed to a plastic container. And again, it's going to depend on your skin type. They do tend to be heavier, similar to like olive and avocado and coconut oils. So they might not be appropriate for everyone. Now, personally, I have been making a body butter out of tallow, and I've tested that over the past year. I've used that not only on myself, but on my son. And it is something where a little bit goes a long way, but I do find that it is pretty easily absorbed into our skin, and I like the effect that it achieves. It keeps my skin soft and supple. So for us personally, that is something that we use in our skincare. Well, I hope this video has helped to guide you a little bit as far as which fats are best for the skin. It's going to depend on your individual diet, and I do say diet because if it's something you're applying on a daily basis, you are going to be taking in a lot of it on your skin type, on your beliefs. So using all of that, you can choose intelligently about what you want to either look for when you're purchasing a skincare product or what you want to use when you're making one. So that is all I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you all again soon.